All right, let's go ahead here one time. It is Eric, the Big E Arnold. Wee hours of the morning on Sunday, the 18th of April, and we're here to bring you the baseball, Major League Baseball, recap our Saturday, and then we've got a big Sunday for you. I forget how many games. It was 6, 7, or 8. I forget which. But there's some top plays in there, so you want to stay tuned for that. So yeah, what's been going on here in the world? I guess the Dodgers, Red Sox, and A's, they just keep winning. Yankees keep losing. Saw the end of that. I mean, I guess you got, if you want, you're a baseball fan, and for the 20 people of you that are here, I'm assuming you're hardcore baseball fans. So that Dodgers-Padres series out there on the West Coast is some really pretty good, good baseball. This is the best teams there are going. And right now the Dodgers are getting the best of it. They won the game tonight with, I guess, the tying runs on base, 2 outs, a line drive, sinking line drive to center field that's going to tie the game. Mookie Betts makes a diving catch to save the game. Hey, what can you say about the Dodgers? I mean, these guys lose Bellinger. Was he the MVP? No, I guess it was 2 years. 2 years ago he was the MVP. They lose him. They don't miss a beat. So right now that's just a machine. That's a blue machine there. So they keep moving. What did we do? We had a good day. We had a pretty good day. Let's go ahead here. I didn't crunch the Big EO meter numbers. I mean, if you're new here, my record so far this year is the top plays, we're doing well. The 1-star plays, we're doing poorly. If you add them up and don't stratify them at all, we're slightly below 500 because the 1-star plays are outweighing the 2- and 3-star plays. But the 2- and 3-star plays we're doing pretty well with. So, what did we have? We had the Braves. They just couldn't keep it going. The Cubs found their bats. So, maybe the Cubs not dead after all. Phillies, Cardinals. Matt Moore just exploded. Home run balls just blew him up. The Phillies had a lot of base runners in that game. That game was on. Obviously that's my local market, the Philadelphia market. So that game was on, and Phillies had a lot of chances to score a lot of runs, and they just could not get any kind of key hits. But our top play were the A's. Easy winner, 7-0 shutout. We've had the A's now twice this weekend. They've gone out and just simply double bageled the Tigers, 2 consecutive shutouts. So the A's are all we want right now. Rockies, Mets. We're going to call this a win. Problem with doing these picks in the middle of the night is often you're dealing with partial information. In other words, I didn't realize, I thought this would be the first game of the doubleheader, and here it was the second game. But since both starters were pitching, we're going to count it and say that was a W. I think we were right. In other words, if you had the first game of the doubleheader, I think the Rockies, even though they lost, I think played pretty well considering they were going up against DeGrom. So, we're going to count that one. The Giants and Marlins, we get lucky there. The Marlins come from behind not once but twice. That's a double comeback. So they walk it off there with a Jorge Alfaro. That guy used to be our catcher in Philadelphia before we traded him for JT. I'm making lots of money, Real Muto. So Alfaro with a last-second double there to win the game for the Marlins. So, good day for us. Let's see if we can keep it going. I'm not too excited because I know we got a huge day coming up here, and I'm a little nervous. about, some of these games coming up, just because, there's more than a couple big games that we're wanting to play. Before we get to that, I wanted just to mention a couple things here. Wanted to show you my new favorite play, which I've seen this happen now a couple times, where because these teams employ these ridiculous shifts, here's your diamond, here's your third baseman, there's a guy on first, there's your guy on first, your third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, first baseman. That's generally how, you would play a left-handed pull header now. So the guy on first base takes off, steals second. And then after he steals second, third base is unoccupied. So the good teams, they know this and they've practiced this, then they go and they cover third base. So I watched this against, it was the Dodgers and the Padres. The Padre kid, he steals second, and he's easily safe. Dives, face in the dirt. He doesn't even know where the ball is. All he knows is he's stealing that base in second, and he didn't care where the ball is. He's sliding and getting that bag. So as he's sliding in the dirt, all these guys, the catcher, the second base, or I guess it'd be the third baseman, and the pitcher, three dudes run for third base all at the same time. So he's there in the dirt at second base, looks up and sees three dudes running all at the same time over towards, basically the dugout. And he's like, what is going on? That was the same thought I had. It's like, what the hell's going on? Where are they going? And I'm like, oh, no one's at third base. So you have these crazy things now that you never see before because of these wild shifts they employ, which kind of led me to another thing I wanted to touch on. I saw Theo Epstein is making the rounds, selling, I guess he's the point man for Rob, I'm an Idiot Manfred, to try to sell us on changes to the game to make it better. MLB, I guess, realizes they have a problem in that batters are striking out basically at 30 to 40% of the time, and nobody really wants to watch that. So their solution is, let's move the mound back a foot. It's like, God, that is so dumb. I just don't understand what your guys are thinking. It'd be like the NBA raising the rim 6 inches because they think they have too much scoring. I mean, come on. You guys are really just screwing with the basic DNA of the game now. They're going to do this in one of their independent leagues, one of their little laboratories where they can make stupid little changes. And the kids or whatever, they're in these independent leagues. I mean, if you told them to play naked, they would, because they're just happy to have a job in baseball. You're going to end up with a bunch of pitching injuries. You're going to end up with a shitload of walks, more than now. I mean, there are a ton of walks now. You move them back a foot further, you're just going to have less control. They think this is going to up the contact rate. Maybe. I think all it's going to up is the home run rate. So then you're really going to have a slow pitch softball game where it's either going to be, instead of the 3 true outcomes of home run, strikeout, walk, you're going to increase the number of walks, increase the number of home runs, decrease the number of strikeouts. All the other things like balls in play that don't meet one of those 3 outcomes, that's going to stay the same. It's not going to go up or down. You're just going to have more walks and more home runs and more pitching injuries. I just think if these guys want more contact, maybe they should be incentivizing the hitters to shorten up their stroke with 2 strikes. No one does that anymore. When's the last time you saw a batter choke up? Hit against the shift, huge acreage of the field is wide open and they don't hit into it. They just refuse to. And not just, Ted Williams guys that are too proud or too good to hit against the shift. I'm talking about guys hitting 230 with middling power, just refuse to take that free hit that's right there in front of them. It mystifies me. And all the teams play the same. You know, and another thought on that is that maybe they ought to just leave it alone, because some of these guys that are throwing 100 right now, they're all fresh, and they basically have, this is the first sustained play they've had, other than that abortion of a season last year. You know, maybe guys are just abnormally strong right now because they really haven't played all that much baseball in the past 2 years. I wonder if all these guys are going to be throwing 100 in August, or we're not going to have just a huge amount of pitching injuries, or guys that are just worn down and are no, you know, oh wow, I'm going to have to get somebody out now with 93 instead of throwing gas at 100 up at his letters. Well, you know what? You can get guys out throwing 93. You just had to do it a different way. So, yeah, the Epstein involved in this disappointed me, because I always thought he was one of the good guys in the game. And I really, this monkeying around with the basic DNA of the game, I think is just suicide. So I'm hoping that this is not something that's going to catch on, somehow come to pass after they wipe out all next year with a players' strike, which I think probably will happen, that there'll be some, it almost feels that way, that, you know, the owners are positioning themselves in some way to wipe the slate clean. They've always wanted to do that, go like NHL on the Players Association and just wipe out a season, and then just start afresh with whatever rules they want to put in place. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. It's a long way till next year, but baseball has a way of just, whatever the worst outcome or worst decision is, they're the ones that grab it. You know, so could the owners and the players get together and make a sensible deal? Sure. Will they? Probably not. But, you know, that's just me speaking from experience with baseball. So, all right, that's the rant. What are the picks? You want to know. What are the picks here? All right. Going back and forth here, refreshing my memory. All right, well, like I said, I feel good about this slate of games I'm giving you here, but I'm a little nervous just because some of these prices are pretty high. And if we have a bad day, it's going to wreck our record altogether. Just smash. Just total wipeout. It'll be a destruction. And I'm like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we've been on a pretty good run here for the past week or so. So I don't want to ruin it with one terrible day. But the model's pretty sound on a lot of these games. You know, this Yankee game makes me a little nervous in that the Yankees are not playing well. But, you know, that's what the stopper is for. You ever heard that term? You know, it's win day. That was a term that Steve Carlton coined back in 1972 when he was the ace on a horrible Philadelphia Phillies team. Just awful team. And Carlton, though, anytime he would pitch, they would win. They'd lose all the other games, but when Carlton would pitch, they'd win. He won 27 games that year. The Phillies, I think, as a team, won 54 or something like that. In other words, he won damn near half their games all by himself. And he's the one who would go into the clubhouse and say, come on, boys, let's go. It's win day. And Mike Schmidt always said that after that, he was like, it dawned on me at some point that, what does that make all the other days? Lose day, I guess. And that's what they were. So it's win day for the Yankees. They got their ace going. The Rays have a not very good starter going. This is it, man. This is a game the Yankees need. I think the Rays maybe, you know, I would think the Yankees would want this game more than the Rays. And by God, I mean, Garrett Cole has been lights out. He's been just a solid citizen ever since he got out of Pittsburgh. The model loves this game, so we got 2 stars on it. I'm a little nervous, 235 makes me go, oh man, because that'll wreck your whole day. You lose one of these, and it's not like they're playing the freaking Orioles either. We're playing the stinking Rays, but I don't know. Like I said, the model likes this game. We're going to put it on the board there. We'll take the Yankees, lay the heavy wood. This next game, the Phillies, Aaron Nola. The model likes this one a lot more than I do. I downgraded this game a couple different times, and it still was there. So we put 1 star on it. I guess we're just thinking Aaron Nola is going to have a good day. He hasn't been exactly lights out so far this season. But, like I said, the Phillies got a lot of base runners on today. They just couldn't get that big hit to really get back in this game. So I'm kind of thinking that there's some more runs there for the Phillies. So we're going to go ahead and say Nola has a good outing and the Phillies get the W. We love this game, the Nationals, Diamondbacks. We love Steven Strasburg. He wasn't particularly good last time out. Unless he's hurt, I don't foresee 2 bad outings in a row for this guy. I think he's going to bounce back and have a decent outing. Bumgarner, he's been lousy. He's just been lousy. So I think the Nationals are going to be able to square up Bumgarner, get some runs off of him. Nationals will get a nice lead early and hang on. So we're going to like that one for 2 stars. Oh, one other thing there. I saw that the great Tim LeCastro from the Diamondbacks has finally been thrown out. I told you this guy has started his MLB career. He stole something like 30 straight bases. Never been thrown out. I thought, this would be kind of cool if this was like a magical guy that could run at will and never got thrown out, just through luck or whatever. And you'd almost want to tune in. It's like, all right, Tim LeCastro's on base. As you all know, he's stolen 89 bases in a row without being thrown out. Well, so much for that. He got thrown out today, and he hurt himself, so he won't play tomorrow. So that's advantage me, who has the Nationals. All right, the Marlins, I told you they came from behind in the 9th to tie the game, then gave up a run in the 10th, and came from behind again to win the game in the 10th. That's a double comeback, subscriber X, a double comeback. Well, for a double comeback, we're going to make this our top play. I think the Marlins are riding high. They're winning. They're playing well. They're feeling good. It's getaway day for the Giants. They're getting on an airplane as soon as this game's over. Yeah, we like the Marlins. We like the Marlins. That's not a hateful price at all. Like them a lot. That's a top play. That's a top play. Here's another top play, subscriber X, who's a Reds fan. We have the Indians and Shane Bieber, who I think is, I just view him as one of the best, if not the best. I would grade him ahead of Cole. I think Bieber's better than Cole. He's going against the Reds. This is another stopper, win day type situation. The Indians are on the verge of being swept by the Reds. The Indians generally play the Reds pretty tough. These two teams almost always play each other every year. They missed last year, of course. But generally speaking, the Indians generally play the Reds pretty tough. They're going to get swept. I don't think they're going to get swept. I like Bieber here. I like him to put things right, shut down the Reds. I think the Reds riding high, but, good pitching will shut you down in a hurry, and I think that's what's going to happen here. So we're going to take Bieber. This is the top play, the Indians. Let's see. We got the Brewers and the Pirates. I'm a little nervous about this one just because They just put Yelich on the injured list. He's not going to play. But, you know, that Peralta guy, he's red hot. He's throwing like, you know, Bieber and Cole, basically. Like, oh, here's 6 innings of no-hit baseball. You know, there you go. So I'm kind of hoping we get the same out of him. He's against the not very good Pirate team. That's a pretty steep price. I guess that's why there's only 1 star on it. We're just a little nervous on that one. But we'll take the Brewers. And then the Athletics. I mean, the A's. Well, why get off these guys? I mean, they've just come from the last place, and they've just streaked almost to first place in about 10 days. And they're not winning 1-0 either. These guys are, they showed, I think MLB Tonight showed that they've outscored their opponents, I think 40-19 in the last 6 games or something. And they're just pounding people. They're just whipping people. So why get off them here? I mean, it's not like they're facing the 27 Yankees. They're against the Tiger team, which I would say is not a good team. So, and we're only laying 134, and we're at home, and we're red hot, and we're on a 7-game or 8-game or whatever the hell win streak. I'm almost surprised there's not 3 stars on this, but there's 2 stars on it. Well, I'd have to change the slide, so we're not going to. We'll leave it with 2. We'll take the A's, absolutely. I mean, that would be, you know, the A's last weekend, we swept the weekend with the Indians. So this weekend, we're trying to sweep the weekend with the A's. Come to think of it, I think the receiving end of all that was the Tigers. So I guess we're on a roll here playing against the Tigers. So that's, maybe I should think of it that way. That's rapidly becoming my favorite team. So let's go A's. Let's beat the Tigers yet again. And let's keep this mini hot streak we're on going. So there you have it. You know, your top plays are the Marlins and the Indians. And then your next best ones, if you like them, are, you know, it's a little dangerous here with these big numbers we're laying. You know, it's Ace Day, if you will. Yankees, Nationals, and, well, the A's. I mean, honestly, I like the A's a lot better than I like that Yankee and Washington game. Maybe just because the price isn't too hateful, and I feel pretty comfortable the A's are going to win. Whereas the Yankees, even with Cole, I feel a little nervous just because they're not playing well. And you know, I just have to back the model here, I guess. You know, it just says, hey, don't worry about it. It's win day. It's win day. So we'll see if it's win day. I don't know. I hope it is. Yeah, like I said, you drop a couple minus 235 games, and that almost wrecks the week. You know what I mean? It certainly wrecks your day. So cross our fingers. You know, we're doing okay at the moment, doing okay. But hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you're enjoying the beginning of this year's baseball season. Got a long way to go, so let's settle on in. Hey, and maybe at some point we could even go to a game or 2 where they'll loosen up some of these restrictions, and we can get out there and enjoy a hot dog and a beer and have some fun at the ballpark. Good, great. Hit the like button if you care to. If you're new, go nuts and subscribe. We appreciate anybody that's here, anybody that comments, anybody that views. Thanks. Eric Arnold signing off.